It is week 9 with that DDF podcast, baby. We're halfway through that season, and everything's really starting to, come together. We're starting to get those clear runners, that first overall team, best teams in the NFL and in our league. I mean, that in our league, that was really obvious coming like week 4, but, minor details. But we're also starting to see some really big breakout seasons for some individual players. I'm sure we all kind of have some players that kind of surprised us. And look, guess what? We have some more injuries, but we won't talk too much about it this week because we have some more important things to talk about. And I'm sorry, Justin, you more or less have solidified yourself as one of one for the draft next year. That we think we've kind of solidified.
I've been saying this for like 5 weeks, man. Where you been?
Yeah.
Well, I was waiting to see how our game.
On it right now, he's going on a run. He's going to rattle off five wins at the end of the season just to screw himself.
I don't remember what it feels like to win, so that would be shocking.
But I think
my life is empty.
We need to say that the Lions continue to prove they are the best team in the NFL. The Chiefs will always get bailed out, and I think, like I said, we're pretty safe to say that Justin is going to get Ashton Genty next year.
We don't know that.
But, boys, I was going through the scores this week. We had some pretty, outside of a couple, there were some pretty damn close games this week. How are we feeling about them?
Well, I'm feeling heartbroken and angry. Mostly because mine was a buzzer beater down to literally the last minute. And it didn't help that CD's shoulder went crappy and then Dak went out. Yeah, it was just a bad week. Bad week. And somehow the Chiefs getting bailed out, screwed me, so.
Yeah, they have a habit of screwing a lot of people.
They've been
also, somebody needs to take down Andy. I would love to do it this week, but it's not happening.
I mean, let me tell you from the other side of the coin, because I was the one that faced Blake this week, and let me tell you, as we were texting back and forth at the end of that game, it was 0.1, 0.2, 0.01 difference between our scores at some times. That was the closest I've ever seen, and I could not get any closer to my TV on that last drive when Baker Mayfield threw that touchdown pass, because I was watching it, and from what I saw, here came the rush from Rachaad White from the 1 yard line, and I was like, I am going to lose this week because he could not get in the fucking end zone on that catch. And instead, I watch a fake, and I was like, I cannot believe what the fuck I'm watching. Is this the New England Patriots game all over again? They decided to throw it instead of run it on the 1, and it worked out, and then it went into overtime. And Patrick Mahomes got the ball, which Blake had 2 defensive players, both playing corner. And for the love of God, I was sweating every throw. I was like, what number was that just blocked that pass? What number was that just made that tackle? Yep. Because it was mere points. I think it was 4 points of separation. So a pass deflected, an interception, and that swings the opposite fucking direction.
Yeah, it really did. I was sitting there. I had to watch it on my phone on the sleeper ticker, and once Baker actually threw that touchdown, let's just say the rest of my workout was fantastic after that. I was so angry.
Oh my God, man! I could not believe what I watched. But you want to talk about the Chiefs getting bailed out? I am sick and tired. I don't know when the Chiefs became the NFL's favorite team, and Patrick Mahomes is God's gift to the NFL apparently, but holy fuck, let them win a game without help for once, please. NFL, that's all I'm asking. I'm tired of watching these primetime games and the atrocious blatant no calls that we're seeing in this game. A face mask that it was a shoulder pad that he had hold of and let go. The blatant no call on the false start to set them up for that run to get in the end zone. That was a play earlier that set them up for that run. just atrocious, man, atrocious. As somebody who loves watching the sport, it's getting worse and worse every time I watch the Chiefs.
And it wasn't even close either. Like, that false start was not even close. Like,
it was almost a full second before the ball was snapped.
Oh, 100%. Like, I can understand if you miss it, like,
Kareem Hunt had to run around him. That's how bad it was.
That is how bad it was. It was
like, holy crap.
Like I said, I can understand if you miss something that is down to like the millisecond. Like unless you have some superhuman vision and that crazy snap reaction time, I get it. And I'm sure there are plenty of those out there too that aren't called, even if they're like a tenth of a second too early. But when you're that early, that is bad. And yeah,
and what's worse is none of these sportscasters are talking about it.
No.
They're just talking about, oh, can you believe that Patrick Mahomes got hurt on this play, and then look what he came out and did. No, let's talk about how the refs helped him get there, okay? How about we talk about that shit? But no, we don't want to fucking talk about it, and it's not just the Chiefs that are getting this blatant calls. There's other games, too, that I'm watching that it's just atrocious watching some of these games and the lack of calls. I don't remember which game I was watching, but it was it was the Rams-Seattle. Their feet got tangled, and they called pass interference, defensive pass interference, on feet tangling. Are you kidding me, guys? And then a blatant call that wasn't pass interference that they called pass interference later on in Seattle's favor. It was just atrocious reffing this week, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we can all agree, too, this is some of the worst officiating we've seen all season. Well, not all season, but just in the NFL in general.
It's atrocious.
It's been really bad. And to be honest, I understand the whole idea of like ejecting Puka Nacua, which, sorry to bring that up, Justin, but I see what they're going for, but I wouldn't have ejected him for that.
Overthrowing a punch at somebody?
To me, it didn't look like it.
It looked more like he swung away than throwing a punch to me, but
it didn't.
When I saw that,
it does not matter about the choreography of the fucking punch that got thrown. I don't give a shit. I thought it was an injury when he went off the field because I wasn't watching the game like intently. I was like, "Oh fuck, he's hurt again." Great, but then I read, I'm like, "Oh, he threw a punch, so that's why he got thrown out." Not better, but at least I don't have to worry about an injury next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets to rest that ankle up.
Yeah,
or
cool.
knee
So
or
I can
whatever it is.
underperform again against whoever the fuck I'm playing. Doesn't matter.
I saw him go out and I said, "Oh, here comes Cooper Kupp."
Yep.
Well, I'm not going to win because I'll fucking bench Marvin Harrison. He'll score 35 fucking points on my bench. I'm starting Kelsey for the first time in 2 weeks, so he'll put up a dud after putting up 20 points 2 weeks in a row on my bench. So, nothing I can do except for take a fucking swollen pickle up the asshole, man. I hate this shit.
That's pretty impressive. Is it a swollen pickle? Mm-hmm. Not a regular pickle, a swollen one? Like ones you get at like the Ren Fair?
If it was regular, it wouldn't hurt so much.
That's fair. So I made an interesting decision this week. I benched C.J. Stroud and played Sam Darnold.
It's about time.
I might need to change my team name because it's no longer in Stroud we trust.
I mean, Nick had to after he traded away fucking Patrick Mahomes.
Well, who wanted to finally show up for once, but it is.
Oh yeah, and who was the one saying that like it's not a long-term slump that he was going to be in?
That's fine. Mayfield is just as equivalent. Actually, Mayfield's ranked higher in the QB ratings. So
currently,
I'll take it. In our fantasy scoring, I'm pretty sure he's like 2 or 3. So
he's 2. He's number 2.
He's definitely up there.
Yeah,
so I think
right
that's
below Lamar.
Yeah. Oh. But I also I made the decision especially after seeing last week with how D-Hop was getting into Kansas City. I didn't play him this week either.
What are you doing, bro?
It's hard to play a dude that like just got there. Like you don't know how much of the offense he picked up or anything like that.
I know, but Tennessee's offense
you know.
is trash, and you continue to start Calvin Ridley.
Did you see what he did last week?
It's just trash.
Hey, I
know,
understand
but that's
I don't know who to start
Denver's
at either.
defense.
So.
Yeah, that's.
But I will say, seeing Scary Terry get 2 catches for 19 yards and 2 touchdowns is great.
Yeah, he'll do that against the Giants.
He sure did that against the Giants.
Great stat lines.
And then Darnell Mooney, I think that's one of my biggest surprises. I picked him off a waiver wire, and he's been my biggest surprise. He's been a pretty consistent receiver for me.
Well, Drake London's banged up now, so all the more reason.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's another guy on that team that catches the ball. What's his name?
Kyle
He's not a
Pitts.
receiver. Plays
Kyle
tight end,
Pitts?
I think. Oh, yeah, that guy.
Oh, Kyle Pitts.
He
Yeah, I
just
didn't
doesn't-
play him either.
You didn't play
He
him?
doesn't know what.
No.
He doesn't know what the
Why
end
would I
zone
play
is.
Kyle Pitts when I have Cade Otton?
I believe
True.
2 weeks ago you were like, "Oh, I should have played Kyle Pitts."
No.
You know, on National Tight End Day when he
No,
went
I
off for
didn't.
2 catches, and you're like, "Oh, I should have played him. I should have started
Bullshit.
both my tight ends." Because
I-
Kate Naughton also went off for 2 touchdowns. So yeah,
Yeah.
we were there. We were
It's all
there.
garbage.
there.
It's all garbage.
You can all go back to the episode. We can also go back to the time zips when I specifically said that when I said 2 tight ends.
I need a timestamp if I'm going to do that shit. No way.
Yeah.
So I've just been sitting here. Since we brought it up when we were talking about like the Chiefs getting bailed out and such. The discrepancy is actually not that much from week to week.
What do you mean?
So week 1, they had 6. The Chiefs had 6 penalties against them. The Ravens had 7. Yardage is 45 yards to 64 yards. Meh.
Well, it's not like the number of penalties. It's in
Yeah,
key
it's
moments that
definitely
it
the
seems to be.
situation, but like if you're looking at just straight numbers, it actually doesn't look that bad. There's some games where it looks pretty bad, but
Yeah, there's like, whenever the Cardinals played Washington, I think it was, they had like a fuck ton of penalties.
well, the one
And
that
then since
stands
then,
out
they've
to
really
me-
cut them like way down, so.
The one that really stands out to me is when the Chiefs played the Raiders. The Chiefs had 8 penalties for 55 yards. The Raiders had 5 penalties for 32 yards, and it really just felt like they were trying to keep the Chiefs from running the score up too much.
That
Like they were
I do
trying to
believe
keep
that
the
happens
points
sometimes.
within line.
It
Yeah.
was, oh man.
Yeah, and like pure number standpoint, it doesn't look too bad, but I think Justin mentioned it, but just the key moments of no calls or calls that go in their favor, that's a tough measure to pull out. But
As soon as Patrick Mahomes got the ball in overtime, I knew that the Chiefs were winning one way or another.
oh, Baker knew that right away too. You
Yeah.
saw it.
I think everybody watching that game probably knew that.
Yeah.
But kind of, so we went a little bit into it, but there was some other notable injuries going on. One of them, sorry Blake, was Dak. He's officially ruled out this week.
Well, he's on the
He's
IR,
go-
right?
He's going on the
He's-
IR. He's gone for four weeks.
Yep.
At least it's a concise, straight-up injury, and you don't have to worry about them jerking you around with the bullshit designations, man.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mean,
at least you know right away.
It's a
That's
small
it would-
silver
it would
lining
be-
on a mushroom cloud.
It would be a whole lot better if they didn't just trade for a wide receiver for no fucking reason, but we'll go into that later.
Yes.
Yeah.
we can definitely jump into that. But just going through some other things. Let's see. Any other notable? Chris
Chris
Olave
Olave.
went down
CD.
with concussion.
Zach Moss out indefinitely.
Yep.
And
Oh.
can I just think I want to publicly thank Matt in our fantasy football league for denying my trade offer earlier this season because I tried to get Zach Moss from Matt and he denied it. Thankfully, because unfortunately Zach Moss is out indefinitely with neck injury.
Yeah, 9
So-
weeks into the fucking season. Shut up.
Yeah, but he's out indefinitely. So
Yeah, I understand
who
what that
knows if
means,
he'll
yeah.
come back from that. That's why I'm thinking that trade didn't happen because I'd be stuck with who knows what. I'm already stuck with that with JOK, so don't need another one.
Yeah, yeah.
That sucks. Still don't know what's wrong. That sucks.
Well, Wow.
Yeah, but most notably, also, I just want to bring up Chris Olave, most likely done for the season after that insane concussion. That was a Tua level.
That's wild that a guy gets knocked out of the for the year with a concussion. Like that's.
Yeah,
I can't remember the last time I saw that. Outside of maybe Luke Kuechly, maybe
outside of Luke Kuechly, because even Tua came back from his last year, and he had
from his fucking shit this year. Like, he
already
did the grip hands.
I didn't see it.
How
Was it
did
a
we
bad
not
hit?
see that? How did we not see that with Tua at this point?
I have no idea. Apparently, they're not as severe.
Apparently, he's more resilient than Chris Olave.
But Nick, if you want, it wasn't like a dirty hit. It was an obvious defenseless receiver. I think he was rightfully penalized, if I remember right.
Dang,
but
who knows?
it was sniper out. It was pretty gnarly.
There's definitely a flag on the play.
Yeah, he got hit and didn't move.
Oh my god.
It was pretty bad.
It's bad when they don't keep showing the hit. Like they showed it and then that was it.
Yeah, it was not great. But glad that you brought up some trades, because not only is the NFL trade deadline coming up soon, but our league trade deadline is
as of right now. NFL trade deadline is over.
Over.
Yeah,
As of time of recording.
6 hours ago.
Okay, cool. NFL trade deadline. Let's look and see. There were some notable ones that came up. The Lions did get their defensive end.
Zadarius Smith is pretty decent. What in the fuck? Hold on, you don't like Mike Williams? Is that what you're gonna get at?
For the love of fucking God. 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. So fantasy football wise last year, I was fucked by Arthur Smith and Mike Williams. Last year. Now, as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I am once again going to be fucked by Arthur Smith and Mike Williams with no lube, straight fisting it. Holy fuck me, man. You couldn't have picked a better wide receiver out there than, I want to drop every fucking pass and I'm injury prone Mike Williams. There's a reason Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw him the fucking ball. Why do we want him? If the greatest quarterback still playing the game, Aaron Rodgers, doesn't fucking want him, what? Why? Holy shit. Darius Slayton was a way better choice. And I get it. We were going after Christian Kirk before he snapped his collarbone in half. But how do you compare Christian Kirk to Mike Williams? For the love of fucking God, what is going on?
Well, Jonathan Mingo was taken. That's why.
Hold on. Blake has something. Hold on. Blake has a point to bring up.
Yeah, let Blake go. He's got more firepower than you do.
Oh, yes.
First, are we calling Aaron Rodgers the greatest quarterback still playing based off of his current play? Because if that's the case, you're fucking stupid. But
No, absolutely not.
okay,
No, it's
just
time
wanted to
to
make that distinction.
Yeah.
The dumbest trade I have seen was made by my preferred team. They traded for a wide receiver in Jonathan Mingo, who got drafted, his play time's winding down, and you traded a 4th-round pick for him. Why?
Was it
Your
a
quarterback's
4th?
going on IR.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And they got a 7th
And
in
they got
return.
a 7th in return.
I thought it was letters. Oh, never. Ooh.
No,
Yeah.
why are you doing that at this point? You are 3-5. Your quarterback's going on IR. Your star wide receiver is questionable with a shoulder injury. You're still missing probably not half. You're missing a third of your defensive starters still. Not to mention, 2 of them are all pros, so you're missing them. You've got a guy that led the league in interceptions last year that you're still missing. Let's see, your offensive line hasn't been able to hold water in a bucket all year. You've got a running back core that is qualified to apply for AARP, and you basically have to chalk up the next 4 games as losses because of all of that. Therefore, why are you trading for anything? Why are you getting rid of a draft pick at any level? I don't give a crap if it's a 5th or 6th for Jonathan Mingo. Why did you go for Jonathan Mingo?
I mean, if anything, you guys should have been trading 4 draft picks, not trading
Exactly.
away
You should have been.
picks.
You should have been trading away guys. Granted, we've pretty much got nobody that anybody wants anyway, because the only tradable commodities that we have are
Hurt.
all injured. So,
basically.
Yeah.
like, not really trading anybody away. Nobody wants Zach Martin right now because he's going to retire next year, and he's not. This is the worst year of his career, and I love that man with all that I am.
He's a Hall of
got
Famer.
he's got my favorite stat of all time. The man has more Pro Bowls than he does holding calls his entire career.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty amazing stat to have.
That's, yeah,
I mean,
that's really
like-
on the line.
That's
The
a
love-
similar stat to Larry Fitzgerald, where he has more tackles than drop passes.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why they call him legend.
Yeah.
When I saw that trade happened, the level of frustration that came out of me, and I was talking to one of my friends about this, and like we were both equally just as flabbergasted because we're both Cowboys fans, and we're like, okay, this season's written off. We're probably going to be trading away pieces, and then you trade for a nothing wide receiver to try and bolster your wide receiver core. Dude, you're missing your number 1 and number 2 wide receivers. You're missing your starting quarterback. Your offense isn't going to go anywhere because the offensive line just isn't gelling, which, in my opinion, you could probably improve by making 2 simple moves. I guess technically it would be 3 moves. And, like, at least give that a shot. But no, they're going to leave it like it is, and they're not going to get anything better. And they're still in the middle of a murderer's row of schedule. So, like, I just do not understand why they traded for anybody at this point.
Yeah.
For sure. No, that's kind of like, it was along the lines of what I was saying. I mentioned this last week because I think we happened to stumble upon the idea of the trade deadline coming up for NFL teams, and somebody said something about the Cardinals. And it's a tough place. It's a tough place, and I brought that up last week. I'm saying, like, it's a tough place if you want to be a trade contender if you're 4-4, because you're not bad enough to be selling, you're not good enough to be buying.
Yep.
But, like, in the Cowboys scenario, they have a pretty substantial losing record. Like, you should not be a buyer when you only have, like, 2 or 3 wins. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That's not logical.
No.
You gave up future equity for a receiver that Carolina, of all people, can't use.
Exactly.
Well,
It makes
Carolina
zero
can't use them
sense.
because Bryce Young sucks.
They could put
Well,
him on
on
the
top of
field,
that-
dude. It's not hard.
Bryce Young can't see over the O-line, so...
I'm aware of
Well,
that.
I want to look at something. I'm going into
Which,
sleeper to find
that's
somebody.
funny enough. Somehow, Panthers won this last week, but...
They
Holy
won.
shit, don't
Have
get
you
me
seen
started.
the receiver depth on fucking New Orleans now that Chris Olave's hurt?
You mean
Chris
no one?
Olave, now out for season. Rashid Shaheed on the IR. Bub Means on the IR. They
Yeah.
have nobody that you've ever heard of.
Who?
Exactly.
But, I mean, holy shit, their defense fell apart, man.
The defense was bad.
Holy shit, their defense fell apart. I thought they were winning that game.
And they traded
And
away
then
the number
Jonathan
1
Brooks
fucking
just-
corner today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Traded away,
yeah.
they traded away Lattimore. What the-
This just
Holy
makes
shit.
me. This just makes me even more mad. The Cowboys traded a 4th-round pick for a guy that has 12 receptions on the year.
Yeah.
In the year.
On the
The
year.
Bengals trading for Khalil Herbert. That I mean, with Zach Moss getting hurt, but
That's why they did
your
it.
season sucks. You guys are not doing that good. Like, why are you
Yeah.
trading in the
Yeah.
first place? You never should have let Mixon go, and you're never gonna find a Mixon again.
They need a running back behind Chase Brown. That's why they did it.
No,
Yes.
I know why they did it, but they shouldn't have let Mixon go in the first place. They
Well,
put all
that's
their
Captain
eggs in that
Hindsight.
basket.
That-
Yeah.
That was
They
a
didn't
long
wanna pay him
time
again.
ago, dude.
Yeah, that was beginning of the year, so...
Yeah.
Well, I will at least let that one slide. But it's...
Yeah.
But
That was
still,
a decision
I
they
get the
made
point, though.
at the
I get
beginning
the
of the year. You
point.
can't bring that up now.
Jonathan Mingo has no catches in the last 3 games, 4 targets in the last 3 games, and maxes out at 54% snap percentage. 2 of the last 3 games, he's under 30%.
I think
Why
54
are you trading for that guy?
sounds like the catch percentage of Marvin Harrison.
I don't
Yikes.
do not understand.
But
this.
yes.
Holy shit.
No, there's nothing to understand. It's a dumb fucking move, and you just gotta deal with it this year, I guess. I don't know.
To get topical with that, for those listening today, the day of recording is election day. One of the funniest memes I've ever seen was this we can all agree on, and it showed the presidential election options, and then the write-in said fire Jerry Jones. I'm like,
Oh, for sure.
So
Can't fire an owner though, so.
yeah.
So let's just understand Blake's frustration.
Fire him and he has to die.
He's not wrong.
Make sure
This is
not
this
wrong.
is the first time.
This
This
is
is the first
the-
time I have to edit. Okay.
This is
So-
the exact same thing that the Raiders fans used to say about their old guy. What?
Yeah.
Why does
No,
his name
and-
escape me?
I've said this before on this podcast. It's not me wishing ill on him. That is the fact of the matter. You can't fire an owner. He's not going to ever relinquish reins to the team.
Mhm.
The only way that he will not be making any decisions for that team is when he passes. And
This
that's
is
going to be a sad day overall for the NFL because he's done some great things for the NFL. But, like, there is some solace in that, like, the team can finally move forward from this open wound of the back end of Jerry's career as owner.
They have two scenarios where that could happen. Either Jerry gets failing health and he has to step away from that position,
Yes.
along the lines of what you're saying, or he gets a Vince McMahon level lawsuit thrown at his ass, and then he has to step
now
down.
that I will openly wish for.
That would be incredible because there's no way his wiener works, man. He's got to be shooting dust.
Honestly, because
He's
I
older
am
than
so
Joe Biden.
I am
So
so
what-
willing for Stephen Jones to be my Triple H.
So what's crazy about this trade is saying that Jonathan Mingo is better than D-Hop and Deontay Johnson.
Why are you saying that?
Because do you know what Kansas City gave away to get D-Hop?
They traded
A
away more
fifth
for
round-
Jonathan Mingo.
Draft pick. A 5th round draft pick is what they gave away. For DeAndre Hopkins.
You can't
A
equate that to
fifth-round draft
saying
pick.
they think he's better than.
They gave away a better draft pick, a 1-round better draft pick for a shittier wide receiver.
I'm
Okay,
pretty
well
sure.
that's their fault.
And
Like,
day 3
Hopkins was
round
already gone,
swaps for Deontay Johnson.
And didn't D Hop get the same number of targets that Mingo has in the entire season in 2 games?
dude. Probably.
Yes.
Yes, it's well established that Jonathan Mingo is bad. Like he was
Just
running as like the
terrible
3 or
trade.
4 on Carolina. He just couldn't mesh with whatever the fuck they're doing that resembles offense. So he's gonna go to the Cowboys. He'll be forgotten for a year. They'll cut him next offseason, and then it'll just be
They'll
down
cut
to
him in
picks.
6
That's-
weeks.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's nothing special. Like there's not like the impact trades that actually happened this year. It's like Marcus Lattimore being traded from the Saints to the Commanders. That was probably the
That
biggest
Lattimore
name.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Commanders just got better.
I would say the
Yeah, they
second.
did.
Well, actually, hold on. He went to Commanders, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess that's the only one because Detroit got Zadarius Smith, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
they did.
That's probably like the second biggest name that I could think of off the top of my head that happened
Let's
today.
be real. The Lions got a guy that's going to jump off sides 3 times a game and probably get you 3 other penalties on top of it.
Just about.
I mean, I would have taken him on the Cardinals because they needed the pass rusher. But they traded for one that I have never heard of before. So
They got Baron Browning.
his name is Barron. That's pretty cool.
His name is Baron.
It's like my fake radio
okay.
station.
From the Broncos for a 6th round. So at least they got a linebacker, I guess. Was there
It's
any other
whatever.
big
It was a
ones?
pretty, almost very uneventful trade deadline. Like
It was. It
no
was a
huge
lot.
names got traded outside of Lattimore. Everything else
Which,
is
I
kind of
mean,
like everybody's shaking their head, like, why did they do that? Or just like, did that really need to happen? Kind of that level of trade.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree. It was definitely a lot, not as like blockbuster as we were kind of expecting, and I would say, almost hoping for.
I mean, there wasn't a lot out there. There were whispers of like what Bryce Young getting traded, Whoever traded for that fucking guy would have been like the biggest dolt on the planet.
Yeah, no. He's literally in his second year. I don't know why you would trade that. And, I mean, really, Carolina kind of needs Bryce Young until Andy Dalton gets healthy again, and then they'll put Andy Dalton back in.
They're just playing for next year, man. Like they want to finally. They're going to draft another quarterback, and they'll just be bad all over again.
Oh, I hope they don't. Hope not a quarterback.
Then they draft Travis Hunter or something and really just screw the team.
God, that's my fear with the Cowboys running headlong into a early draft pick. God, if they take somebody like Shadir Sanders, I'm gonna be so angry.
That'd be wild if they did that after giving Dak
him.
that money, man.
I know Jerry loves him.
I was gonna say that's just like almost his like movie right there.
No, we gotta put Blake on fucking 24-hour surveillance if that shit happens.
That might
I
be
pray
the
for
closest.
you and Waylon's sanity.
Yeah, I think that'll be the closest I ever come to jumping ship if that happens.
Yeah, for good reason. I get that
It
completely.
would be full circle because Dion is all about the spotlight, and so now his son just happens to go to America's team.
Yeah, but he's
I
not.
hate that moniker.
They're not America's team, dude. You can stop doing that. It's Detroit. Detroit is America's team, as they
Detroit
should be.
definitely is. And I think we can all agree Detroit is the best team in the NFL.
Yeah. I'll give it to them.
According to
I
record-wise,
like them the
unfortunately,
best.
it's the Chiefs.
I think the fucking
No.
Ravens have a chance at it too. Like they
Same.
blow out every
Ravens
goddamn team they play, except for the Browns 2 weeks ago.
The Browns and then week 1 against the Chiefs.
But I mean, all the teams they are playing are good teams for the most
Yeah.
part. I mean, outside
The
of their
Cowboys
division.
took them down to the wire.
There you go. See,
It was close.
It was close.
I mean, they tried.
No, they didn't.
They really put their best foot forward there.
No, they didn't.
No, yeah, probably.
Not a lot. There's no positives in
The
Cowboy land
level
right
of talent on that team, they should be rolling the NFC.
Well, the
It's
Cardinals picked up
stupid.
an edge rusher. Who did they get? They got
now. I think we already went over this.
Does
Barrett
that have
Browning.
something to do with the gorilla?
Yeah.
Like, that's an inside joke, but, like, dude, we literally just talked about that.
You're right.
Baron Browning.
Yeah. His name's Baron.
outside
It's
linebacker.
Justin's fictional radio station name.
That's right.
Yeah, KBRN, baby.
Okay, well, boys, so our trade deadline is coming up after this week. Any
This week.
offers?
It is this week.
It's this week.
It's after Monday night.
As soon as the game starts.
Thursday.
As
As
soon as
soon
the
as
game
Thursday
starts.
starts.
Oh,
Everybody in Thursday, it's non-valid.
Just
Okay.
putting this out there, Nick. Jalen Warren's still available.
That's good for you.
I did see that still.
Fuck, I might take a swing at it. I need running backs like crazy.
I almost thought about putting Tyler Algier on the trade
Put him
block.
out there. Put him out there.
Unless he gets traded.
Hey, who's Tyler Algier?
If Tyler Algier went anywhere else, I would be happy to do that.
I'm just hoping that he does. That's the only reason I'm holding on to him.
That's on next year at
These
least.
are the guys that are on our trade block currently.
That or a Bijan injury.
You've got
You don't have to talk about
DeAndre
any of mine.
Hopkins.
They've been on there for a long time. So yeah, you just put Hopkins on this today, didn't you?
Yeah, you
I
got
put
Travis
Hopkins
Kelsey
last
out there
week.
on the trade block. You have Keenan Allen,
I forgot
Stephon
about
Diggs,
those two.
Mostert, Cortland Sutton, Devin Singletary, Jerry Judy,
Ooh.
Elijah Moore, Rico Dowdle,
Yeah, fuck
Chris
Scott for
Olave.
doing that shit.
Zach Charbonnet, and Drake May. Those are all the guys that are designated on the trade block.
Dude, Sutton out there and Judy out there because I know that a lot of wide receiver injuries and
He
I
did
get
that
they
today.
play for I know, and I get that they play for some pretty terrible teams, but I mean
Broncos
they
aren't
are
terrible.
they are exactly. Cortland Sutton's been putting up the last 2 weeks 2 straight 100-yard receivings. I mean, he threw a touchdown pass to Bo Nix in this last game. Threw a touchdown pass to Bo Nix, which was insane.
Hey,
and
I heard
I
you.
Cortland
Yeah.
Sutton.
I don't even have to think about it. Absolutely not.
I mean, I'm the one that has Drake May on the trade block, so if anybody needs a quarterback, that's...
You want to talk about insane
No, I got-
trades that
I
were
got Bo
offered
Nix
to me?
waiting in the wings. I'm good.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix is not a bad backup.
Holy crap. Let me just talk to you about the bombardment that I got for Cooper Kupp. Apparently, he is still a hot commodity by certain individuals in this league because they were willing to trade Alvin Kamara straight up for him. They were willing to trade a first-round pick straight up for him. That is how insane, apparently, people still think
So Andy,
Cooper Kupp is.
So
Absolutely.
Andy
Absolutely.
loves Cooper Kupp. I could have told you that.
Yes, and I
He
will
doesn't
tell you
stop
right
talking
now,
about him.
there was one trade that I almost took, and it was so hard to turn down.
What
It
was
would
it?
have been Kamara, a first-round pick in 2026, second in 27, third in 27 for Kupp and DeAndre Swift.
Holy shit.
And you rejected it?
Yes, I did.
That takes some balls to reject that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was a
That's
straight-up
Because
1-for-1.
Swift
Kamara
is not
for Kupp.
producing at all.
Yeah, he
Not
is.
Kupp hasn't.
Yes, he
well, I
is.
mean,
Swift has been producing ever since the first 3 bad games. I know that he's not putting up like 15, 20 points, but here's my thing. Yes, I sub out Kupp for a Kamara. That just takes care of what I've been getting from Cooper Kupp and DeAndre Swift combined for quite some time. If that.
Exactly.
But I don't have anybody else to start that's going to still get those same numbers to help me boost
That
past
doesn't-
that. That's the dilemma.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
And
'cause
I'm not
anything you
giving
get-
Andy, who's undefeated, any more
That's a good point.
firepower than he already has.
See, that's the
Yeah.
compelling argument right there. Because what you were saying earlier, you were not making the case that you thought you were.
Andy does not need any more firepower than what he
No,
already
he
has.
does not.
I'm not giving him Cup and Swift for
I've
Kamara.
never been so happy that I got Derrick Henry from him.
Shit, right?
Even though
I
I'm
cannot
not doing
believe-
anything with it.
What's insane is I cannot believe that Nikki P gave him away 2 weeks after our initial draft, because he put up 8 and 8. Those were his fantasy points, and he has yet to put up less than like 20 cents. And I know that there's some games sprinkled in where he didn't really do good, but those are few and far between. Holy crap!
I mean, you're going
I
back
cannot-
a couple years on that trade, and obviously, like, it was a bad trade.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees on it. But the trade happened because Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 2 touchdowns week 1. Derrick Henry did not have that same performance,
Yeah.
so that's why he traded.
No, yeah,
It was
I know that times
reactionary, it
were
was
different.
stupid,
Yeah.
and he has to live with it. Now his team is in limbo. It's better than mine, but I mean, like, that's just what he has to deal with.
Yeah,
But,
but
like-
no, holy crap. I mean, these trade offers that were being thrown out there, and I've never felt so, like, unsure if I made the right call, ever, until I realized that it was against Andy, and I'm like, he's undefeated. He doesn't need any more firepower. I know that I'd be taking future picks from him, but holy crap, did I look at how many picks I have going forward? I have a lot of them. I don't need more, because that just creates headaches in the long run of who do I drop, who do I keep. I don't want that headache.
Well, he was
Yeah,
trying to get
like,
Kelsey from me
I will
right
say, I will say, as far as like from a points perspective, I think you would have come out on top on that, and you would have had picks. But considering that part of your thought process was trying to make sure that you didn't make Andy's team any better, if that's the most important thing to you, then yeah, you made the right call.
I mean, turning down Kamara and a first-round pick for Cup and Swift was tough.
Yep,
Yeah, it's tough.
that is tough.
Um,
I
so
probably
actually
would have
now
made
I-
that trade.
Especially since there was 2 more picks tacked onto that, too. That was...
now. If I
Holy
didn't
shit, that was
yeah.
tough.
If I didn't publicly declare that I would not trade with Andy, I'd probably be more inclined to,
That's what it would have looked like.
Lord.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, the
I
trade offer,
definitely would have done that.
the offer I have on the table is not nearly as exciting. He wants to get Kelsey from me now that he's fucking done whatever he's done, but he's going to give me 2 future seconds, one in 2026 and one in 2027.
That's really funny. That's
Yeah,
actually really funny.
He overvalues second round picks.
I mean, second round picks are nice, but I'm still not going to trade with Andy because I already said I would not trade with him. So
Justin, that's really funny you mentioned that because I have a very similar trade that's pending right now with him.
Kyle
that I
Pitts?
haven't
For
accepted
Cade
it.
Otton.
No,
Kyle
I'm
Pitts.
not giving Cade Otton.
It's Kyle Pitts.
You
So-
have Cade Otton.
I know, I'm not giving him up.
No, it's Kyle Pitts.
So there's a current pending trade sitting in my inbox. It is because I've openly kind of said, okay, I think I'm over Justin Tucker. He would give me McPherson.
Oh, yeah, this is the one
So-
that you text me. I forgot.
Yeah, so a straight swap for McPherson and Justin Tucker. So a straight swap for those two.
Kicker
And
swap,
then
the most important thing to do.
Yeah. And then a 2026 second round, 2027 second round for D-Hop.
So you get
No,
picks and a better kicker for
A worse kicker than DeAndre Hopkins.
Tucker and D-Hop.
for McLaren, right? Is that basically it?
No.
No, for
No,
DeAndre
so
Hopkins.
I am...
Oh, Hopkins.
So-
Mistake, sorry.
Yeah, D-Hop.
Hopkins.
So you give away D-Hop, you upgrade your kicker, and you
And
get
two
Two second round picks.
two
And
second round
second
picks. If they were, what years are the second round picks?
26 and
26,
27.
27. The exact
same
same
as
picks
mine,
that
yeah,
he was
yeah.
offered to you.
Yeah. The second round, like, obviously picks are nice and they do have value when the draft comes up, but like those right now don't mean shit.
Yeah.
A year from now, those will be like worth a lot more. At least one of them will be. 2027, who gives a shit? So,
That's what made it. My brother threw a trade out there, and that's what made it hard. That's what was make it so easy to deny his. Is that pick is 3 years from now, bro? I'm not. I'm not concerned about that first round pick 3 years from now. Right now,
Right.
I'm worried about next year and the year after. 3 years, I don't care.
Yeah.
is Joe just trying to give you all of his picks?
Yeah, so like it's one thing if it's a first round pick, and then it's another thing if it's a team that's like towards the bottom that's trying to trade you that first round pick. Then it's instantly got some value because you're gonna have a solid spot. But especially
Right.
coming from somebody that like Andy that's sitting undefeated at the top of our league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As it stands right now, it looks like his pick is going to be at the back end of the first round or second round. So like you're essentially getting third round picks. You're not even getting second round picks really.
Well,
Right.
It's true.
Well, and he doesn't even have any more this year's, except for one first round this year, I believe. Is all he has left for this year's picks.
Well, he's
So it's
gonna
not
trade
even
that,
like you're exactly. So it's not even like you're getting a good position this year because you don't know what kind of position you're going to get from him next year. Like he could do the same thing, and you're still drafting towards the back end next year because you have all of his picks.
I
So-
can fill you in on what's going to happen in the future. Andy has a very strong team, so he's going to be competitive
Yeah.
for a good long time.
Yeah, he's got
Absolutely.
a strong young team.
So you're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Maybe the injuries fucking finally catch his team, like they've hurt everybody
Holy
else this year. But
Shit, that horseshoe needs to fall finally, man.
we'll see.
Well, the problem is well, no, I'm not going to say that. That's because that's just.
It's
not
because we
nice.
can't score against him. We know. We talk about this every week.
Yeah,
He's
that's
got
what
the
I was
least
gonna say.
points scored against him. Fuck.
I scored
He does have
160
it
against him.
I'm sitting in third place with the third most points scored against me. This is bullshit.
He
Yeah,
does have a
that's
tight
how
end
I
issue.
won my championship last year. I played defense.
Yeah. Holy shit,
good-
man.
it's a
I'm
good way to
tired
do it.
every week of sweating these wins.
He does have a serious tight end
Fuck
issue
you,
right
dude.
now.
I'll trade you. Like,
You don't have to sweat every week because you know what's
haven't
going
won
to
since-
happen.
I haven't won since
That's
week
what I'm
2.
saying. You
And
know
I
what's
don't-
going to happen.
I don't know that that's going to happen. I have the smallest amount of hope that I'm going to actually perform decently this week. And it doesn't matter because like I make the wrong decision every time and my opponent will always score way more than me
I did
because
think that
for
the
some
one
fucking
team-
reason. I don't
I
get
think
it.
that the one team you had the best shot against is Ryan.
Yeah, because Ryan doesn't score points. That was the joke. He scores
Yeah.
175 on me. Like, are you kidding?
We're at 175 this week.
Hey, you played Joe this week, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So we
Hey, that
started-
was your
yeah.
first victory. Oh, no, that wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
You-
Scott.
Who'd
Scott
you
was my
face?
first
Oh,
victory.
Scott.
I've only beaten Scott
That's
Like,
an
since-
impressive win, though.
I went 5-0 last year, and then I've been on a steady losing streak. I've only beaten Scott twice since then.
And I think those are your only 2 wins since then.
That is 100% correct.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get another win.
Maybe. I don't know. He's supposed to get McCaffrey back in week 11, so we'll see.
Yeah, McCaffrey is back.
He was out on that field. That's gonna
As long as
hurt.
Puka doesn't fucking throw punches and, like, Marvin Harrison just stays on my bench and doesn't fucking ruin
Doesn't
my life.
actually score. I thought you said that if
He's on a bye
your
week,
bench-
so that's perfect decision for you. That week, yeah.
And didn't you say if he's on your bench, he can't hurt you?
It's exactly what I said, and that's where he was.
So he had to start him.
Yeah, and
You
I
had
don't
to
have to
start
start.
him this week,
I don't have to start him this week. I just really
don't.
should, based on my options, but I'm not gonna. It's so frustrating.
All right, well, we're being at the halfway point of the season. Just thought we would kind of take a look at some leaders.
5 games left.
Yeah. Just want to take a look at some leaders here. So we're halfway through the NFL season. Just want to take a look at some leaders here. Overall, who do we think is top scorer in the league? I think it's pretty obvious, but
Top scorer, like it
The
just
running back, quarterback.
no, just overall.
No, that's
overall.
what I'm saying. The running back, quarterback for the Ravens.
Yep, sure is.
I mean, just
Total
Lamar
fantasy.
Jackson. You just say his name.
Total fantasy points 234.
Yeah, he's having a great season. He should not have
Great
won the fucking MVP last year, but like this year, he's
No,
probably
he
the
should
most
not have.
deserving. That was a McCaffrey
This year-
fucking trophy.
It should have
Yes, it
been
was.
McCaffrey, but it's a quarterback. It's a quarterback award, unfortunately.
Really shouldn't be.
So
It's not
obviously
always that.
top quarterback. Obviously, so like we said, obviously top quarterback is going to be the top performer. Number 2, I think we talked a little bit about this.
Number 2 performer.
Right, Baker Mayfield.
Well, it's quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are going to be like
Yep.
always on top.
Well, no,
Those two.
he's second in quarterback rankings.
Well, I think he's probably 2
He's
overall.
second overall, too. He's
And
2
he's second
overall.
Yeah, he's second
Yeah.
overall.
Derrick
Second.
Henry is number 3.
For
Yep.
sure. And Derrick Henry is by far and away the best running back in the league, fantasy wise.
Absolutely.
I would say
survived that, and
Saquon's
it's-
probably like pretty close behind him.
I survived that. and Jackson
Saquon
Smith
is
this week.
about
Holy crap.
30%, 30 points behind
Oh,
him.
30 points
Really?
behind, yeah. So
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's at 213, with Saquon at 186.
186.
But they're the top 2 running backs, right?
They're
Yeah,
top 2,
they're
yeah.
the top 2 running backs.
Okay, cool.
And then
With
Alvin
Kamara
Kamara
Kamara,
being
shells,
number
too.
3.
Like, it's like almost a 30%, 30 point separation between like 1, then 2 and 3 are right there by each other, and then 4 drops off by another 30 points, and then it's
Yep.
kind of like 10s after that.
Yikes.
Yep.
Who's
Yeah.
number 3? Is it
Kamara.
Mixon? Oh,
Kamara. No,
Yeah,
Mixon's
he's-
7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mixon's not
yeah.
even
Well,
in the top
yeah, he
5.
missed time too. That was not a good guess
Yeah.
on my part.
Those hurts suck.
And Kamara's
Those
going to
injuries
get
suck.
like what, like on the low end, what 20 to 25 catches a game now?
Yeah.
just about, yeah.
That's what made that trade so hard to decline, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you got to think about
who do you
Cooper Kupp being 29 years old too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's actually 30 now.
ow, fuck.
He's still youngish.
Anywho,
Oh,
we don't have
God
to talk about that
forbid.
again.
The number 1 receiver.
He's 31, by the way.
I would not have guessed that.
The number 1 receiver.
Jamar Chase, I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's what he's
Correct. Jamar Chase. The
is it
top
Jamar?
considering
performing
his
wide
like
receiver.
super slow start. That's kind of impressive.
That is that's very surprising. But honestly, I didn't have one guess. Like I couldn't even ballpark it.
Yeah, Jamar Chase number 1, Garrett Wilson number 2.
That's
Which-
That
wild.
surprises me.
Yeah,
That
that's
surprises me.
That tells
And
me the
most
wide
of
receiver
that-
position is so far down this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, the wide receiver value has gone down a lot.
150. That's
Yeah,
the
150
top
is
wide
top.
receiver.
The number 1 running back has him beat by 60 points.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that the running back would outscore the best wide receiver.
Do we say why the running back position actually has value now after the past few seasons?
Yeah, it's
I've been
gone
saying this shit
mean,
since
only-
the drafted.
back.
Only the top 14, and that's because Jackson Smith and Jigba just scored 30 fucking fantasy football points in 1 week. only the top 14
That's what Blake-
are above 100. I can't believe I survived that and Derrick Henry. But
yeah, I know. That's
that
because
and Jackson,
my quarterback and my number one wideout went down hurt.
Yeah,
Fuck
now
yourself.
is it hard to believe, dickhead? We've been talking about this for like 45 minutes.
fuck me.
Cock
But
smoke.
only the top 14 are above 100 fantasy points scored this year, wide receivers. And you would be surprised at the names that are in the top 14. Jackson Smith, Darnell Mooney, Thomas, Neighbors, Reed, McLaurin, Flowers, London, Godwin, who isn't even playing right now,
Well, he's out for the
St.
season.
Brown, C.D. Lamb, Jefferson, Wilson, Chase.
Jefferson, I have him.
I would have guessed the top 4.
Those are insane names that were never
I'll-
anywhere
I
near
would-
those from last
I
year.
wouldn't have guessed Garrett Wilson. I
Well,
really
see-
wouldn't have.
See, really, I think the more impressive thing is the people that are below 100 points,
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill.
which like starts with Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, Nico Collins, who's been hurt for a little while.
Yeah.
DK's also he's missed a couple games.
Yeah, Diggs is out for the year
Di-
now.
Yeah, Diggs is out for the year. Devonta Smith.
Who he
I
was
mean,
hurt for a while too.
This one doesn't bother me
Well,
because
both of
it's.
them were.
I mean, Alan Lazard, no one expects him to be like super high.
Mike
Sorry,
Evans.
Justin. Marvin Harrison.
I'm surprised he's
Uh,
not
the
any
list
list
goes
of
on and on.
successful
Yeah.
fucking receivers.
Well, we
dude.
can only really
Mike
say Marvin
Evans has
Harrison.
been out
He's
for
had
2 weeks,
3
so-
games over 10 points.
Mike Evans is gonna when he comes back, he's going to be scoring like 2 touchdowns a game for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, DJ Moore is there.
He has to get
Jacoby
1,000 yards.
Myers.
I look
Jacoby-
forward to Mike Evans coming back.
That'll happen.
Yeah. Jacoby
Well-
Myers sitting at 28.
And Tyreek Hill being so far down, that's not. I don't feel like that should be surprising to anybody. He had to suffer through 3-4 weeks of literally no quarterback play. So
Yeah, but like, I'm still kind of concerned about it now that Tua is back because like just this last week, he had like 2 or 3 catches, I think, maybe.
yeah, you gotta
Terrible.
let Tua get back in his rhythm.
Probably.
I don't think it's
And
gonna be
Jalen
anything to be
yeah.
anything crazy.
And Jalen Waddle sucks ass. Like he's bad. So
He has not
hate that
been
guy.
playing well.
he was bad last
Over
year.
to
He's even
tight
worse
ends
this year.
here. Jumping over to tight ends.
What, number 1 tight end?
Brock
Bowers?
Probably.
Brock
Yeah,
Bowers, number
That's
2.
what I would guess.
Ooh.
Followed by George Kittle.
Led
Kittle's
by
number
Kittle's
three.
number 1.
George Kittle.
George Kittle's number 1?
overall. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't follow. That's in front of
That's led by.
Yeah, that's why I said led by.
Yeah.
Anywho,
And then Kate Otten, let's go.
T.
What
McVee's up there.
What a
Hell
pickup
yeah.
Kate Otten was for me. I think I grabbed Kate Otten off a waiver wire.
I'm 100% sure that you did.
Yeah.
Nobody
Sure did.
drafted Kate Otten. Nobody gave a shit.
Nope. No
Yeah.
one did.
Neither did you for the first 2 years. You you would ride that Kyle Pitts shit, and now you're tired of it.
I sure was. I was hoping upon hope. Travis Kelce moving up into 5th.
He's the 5th best tight end.
Back
He's
to
been
back
dog
20
shit
pointers.
most of the year.
After his last 2 weeks of putting 40 points in 2 weeks, he
Yeah,
has
but-
doubled his number of fantasy points.
He's at 80 fantasy football points.
He put up 80 in 2 weeks. He's doubled his points.
Holy
It's crazy.
shit, man. But that goes to what we were talking about. What was that, last week or 2 weeks ago? When the Chiefs,
Yeah.
when are the Chiefs going to turn it on? It looks like they finally turned it on.
I told
Because
you
Patrick
second half of the
Mahomes
year.
showing up. Yep. And sure enough, that's exactly what we're seeing. And I still think getting rid of Patrick Mahomes when I did was a solid trade. So
I would still support
I
that.
think that you think that. I don't agree.
Yep.
Jumping over into the defensive side, on the defensive line is Trey Hendrickson, followed by Van Ginkel and T.J. Watt.
I
in
got Van
third.
Ginkel.
Yeah. So those are your top 3 on the line. For our linebackers, it's
Those are all white guys.
yes, they are.
It sure
Weird.
is.
That's so
It
strange.
sure
Myles
is.
Garrett's 6th.
That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, a slow start.
Yeah, he did have a pretty slow start. Jumping over to linebackers. 3rd is Fred Warner.
Sounds right.
Second is JOK.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, that does hurt. On IR and still second.
Did they put him on IR finally?
Yeah,
He
they
is-
did.
He's IR.
Is he out for the year?
And then
We still don't know what's going on with him. Have no idea. There's just been placed on IR with no update. This is not looking good, guys.
they just say neck injury. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty bad. Okay.
And then
that
Spillane.
injury hurt.
Yeah, and then Robert Spillane with the Las Vegas Raiders,
He's number one,
number one.
Number one with 92 points.
and he was a guy you could pick up off waivers at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most of our defending players you'll be able to pick up off waiver. You're not going to draft them often. I
mean,
did.
fourth
think
place
it's
Sherwood you
fair.
can pick up.
Yeah.
I mean, you could stream that bullshit all the time. I picked up a DB
Yeah.
who scored 12 points this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then rounding out the defensive side of the ball, our top three for defensive backs. In third, Nick Cross.
Xavier
Alontae
McKinney's got to be up
Taylor?
there, right?
What's that?
Xavier McKinney's probably up there, right? Huh?
Man, Nick Cross came out of nowhere.
I don't even know who that is.
And
Defensive back for Indianapolis.
I'm glad you just didn't.
Waiver wire pickup for me about a couple weeks ago.
I'm just happy
Holy
you didn't
crap,
say the
has he-
Steelers. That's all.
No.
Hey,
First of all, I have one Steeler on my entire team. And my
But he is
entire
the
team.
Steeler.
Shut
And he's
the
number
fuck
two.
the
up.
Steeler.
He's number 2 in D-line scoring. So,
Yeah, but he's the
rightfully so.
the Steeler.
Oh, absolutely.
no, he's actually third.
Oh, third. Sorry, I apologize. Third.
So I
It
was
Big
really
difference,
too,
happy
last week.
initially with my Adebo pickup, and I was like, yeah, I got to ride that for 1 week, and then he went on IR.
Jesus.
And Buda
Are we
Baker.
still recording?
Yeah.
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 Oh.
Buda Baker rounding it out.
this-
And-
this
I
is
don't
part
have
of
the
this
red
process.
dot up here. I don't have the red dot anymore.
no,
I don't know where it
you're,
went.
you
No,
you're
you
we're
just can't see
still
it.
on my side. You still are.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, Buda Baker number one defensive back.
Buda Baker.
Buda. If there's one thing that the Cardinals can count on being first in. Actually, no, that's not true. They're number one in the
division.
Yeah, they're number one in the division.
See, and
So I
that's
can't
what I
say-
was going to bring up when you guys were talking about them actually trading for people. It would make sense for them to be buyers, considering that divisional race is so tight.
Based on their current
record,
position.
not yeah,
100%.
the fact that whole division is at 4-4 or 3-5, and
Yeah.
they happen to be at the top of it. Your record may not be stellar, but you're at the top of your division. You only want to get better, so being a buyer makes sense.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's a reasonable
Not being in the
acquisition.
being near
too.
the cellar of the NFC East and trading for a shit wide receiver. I'm not salty.
You have every right to be salty, my friend.
And then the very, very last position is the kickers.
I forgot that was
Brandon
a position.
Aubrey.
Third,
It's got to be
Aubrey?
No, it's not.
fourth,
No.
fourth for Aubrey.
Yeah.
In third,
Washington's
yeah,
kicker
it is
is
Austin
number
Seager.
one.
Yeah,
Fucking
followed by Kaimi Fairbairn and Chris Boswell, who's on
free
waiver.
agent. Free agent Chris Boswell.
Yeah, I had
On
to,
whose
I had to
team?
drop him. I had to drop him last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I had him.
He's on a bye week.
Yeah. So I dropped him.
This is what blows my mind. I think it's just because the Baltimore Ravens are are a high scoring offense.
I'll be right back.
Justin Tucker is number 5 still.
Because he
has
goes
the
out there and kicks those 60-yarders like it's nothing. He
Tucker
either
doesn't.
shanks them, or he used to.
Not
Not
this
anymore.
year. He struggles with
Yeah.
50s. He's not fucking
That's
around
right,
in 60-yard
50s.
territory.
That's
No,
right.
That's
he
for the young
has some
kids.
of the,
Yeah.
he has one of the worst field goal percentages among kickers this year.
Yeah, it's
It's
all
because
good.
he's kicking so many of them.
My kid's probably descended from Nazis. I don't even know anything about that guy. He's got the same last
Yeah.
name as the story I heard, and that was the last name. The dude was a Nazi.
He's only missed 4 kicks all year.
Yeah, I guess it might have just been the last couple weeks where I just kind of noticed a drop. But I guess
Yeah, he missed 2 He missed one in the first game. He missed one each of the first 3 games, and then he missed one last game.
It's consistent.
Who it is?
So,
Justin Tucker.
Apparently Justin Tucker is not as bad as I thought he was. Number 5 fixed.
It's all garbage.
But let's just talk about how many times Chris Boswell has been dropped and added just this year.
What an
1,
interesting
2,
topic.
3. Holy crap, man.
Well, I thought I had him the whole year.
Number 3. You haven't had him yet.
I thought
Scott
I did.
had him.
I was wrong.
Yeah, Scott had him.
My bad. I know I did
Scott
just
had,
drop my kicker, so.
He had, what's his face? Harry Butts. Harrison
That's
Butker.
right.
And then he gave a commencement speech about how women should get in the kitchen, and then he dropped him. So
Yeah.
Really figured Scotty would get on board with that.
you would think, but Scotty's a cuck, so I mean,
That's good.
God. And moving on over to Spotify. Let's take a look
he's
at
not
the question.
really definition-wise. No, we love you, Scotty. He's gonna
let's
take
take a
that
look at
personally
the,
for the rest of his life, though. God damn it.
Let's take a look at the poll that we had over on Spotify we had this last week. So, boys, what do you think our topic was?
I know exactly what it was.
You were there when I wrote it.
Yeah, it was my idea. I was drunk.
It sure was.
I was not paying
Boys,
attention.
this last week, the question was, will Justin get a win this week? Because he was playing me.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Answer.
our options were Justin loses by a lot, Justin loses by a little, Justin with a narrow win, Justin blowout wins, or Justin just implodes.
I should have bet
And-
that bottom one.
Justin blows.
Yeah, I blow. Blow hard.
Implodes.
Either one, they're interchangeable.
I was going to say they
It's
sound
really
like the same
interchangeable.
thing to me.
Our one vote said that Justin with a narrow win. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint.
You let me down, Justin.
You voted on that?
Yes, I did.
I
You let
didn't
me
let
down.
you down. I didn't. Fuck you. I don't give a shit about you. Your percentage on guessing the goddamn multiple choice. I'd rather win a game, dick.
And then the question we had over on Spotify was just trade deadline questions, which we kind of jumped into a little bit. So,
Motherfucker.
and then we'll jump over onto our YouTube side. One question asking, are the Jets the worst team in the league?
Should be 2 questions on there. Did I not write one?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Never
Yeah,
mind.
there's one in there. That was just starting with that one.
Ah, yeah, okay. Are the Jets the worst team in the league? No. Jaguars
No.
exist.
So the Jaguars
I
do
would-
exist, but
I would say the Saints.
as big
Saints
of
are
the
bad.
drama queens as the Jets have, and as big as the expectations that everybody had for the Jets going into this season, can we not just agree that they are, if not the worst team in underperforming against expectations this year? I mean,
So-
besides obviously you have the Bengals out there and the Cowboys out there that were expected to be, making it to the championship games. But holy crap, Aaron Rodgers last year getting hurt was supposed to be the worst thing for the Jets. I honestly think the worst thing for the Jets was Aaron Rodgers coming back.
Who thought the Cowboys were going to be in the championship games? Because I sure as hell didn't. I'm a Cowboys
That's
fan.
every year.
Probably the other Cowboys fans that you
They
despise.
had like a 66% chance to make it
Had?
at the beginning of
So,
the year.
what I
Yes.
will say about the Jets,
Now they're down to like a 16%.
I think
Yeah.
their defense alone keeps them from being the worst team in the NFL right now. So therefore, I cannot say that they are the worst team. I will give you, I think right now they might be in contention for the worst organization in the NFL right now.
Yeah, that's a totally different question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
They are,
worst. Yeah.
to borrow a word from Nick there, atrocious.
Yeah.
The word of the day.
I'm
I
telling
would
you.
say they're the worst in terms of expectations. I wouldn't say worst like team, but definitely underperforming.
But that's
their
expectations
defense
based
is
on the
way too
fucking
good.
media, dude. That's not even like anybody else's
They
fault.
have Brees Hall. They had Garrett Wilson. They have Aaron Rodgers. They have Devontae Adams. They shouldn't be struggling to
Okay.
win these
and-
games.
Well, and
Let me
they
stop you
bolstered
on
their
that shit.
offense. They bolstered their offensive line too. They got Tyron Smith in the offseason too, who's I don't give a shit
Brees
what
Hall-
anybody says. That man is still great.
Everybody is well aware that Brees Hall is a good running back.
Yeah,
good to
I would
great
say
running
bordering
back.
on very good. Yeah, I was going to say
Garrett
good,
Wilson
bordering on
did
great.
not prove jack shit until this year, so there were no previous misconceptions about him being great. Aaron Rodgers still hadn't played beyond him being hurt and actually joining the team, so that you can go ahead and throw off the list because the expectations were just whatever. It's all speculation. That's just nonsense. And they just barely got Devontae Adams. So I mean, you can't chuck him into the expectation list because they just barely got him.
Yeah.
I'll lean just way more towards what Blake is saying. They're clearly the worst run fucking organization because they let Aaron Rodgers fire the coach, hire his friends,
Exactly.
and it hasn't panned out perfectly. So
I mean, at halftime of that game this last Thursday, the fans were chanting, "Sell the team."
yeah, but didn't they
Sell
win the game?
team is what they. Yes, they ended up winning that game, but they should not have. But the fans were yelling, "Sell the team." That's how bad it is over there in Jersey.
Can we get an "F you Jerry" chant in the next Cowboys game?
I'm sure they've had them there. I'm sure it's.
Well, no, I don't think. No, most of the Cowboys fan base is horrendously stupid and will follow Jerry Jones to the grave.
Probably.
But they're about to be playing the Eagles, and I can't remember if this game is at home or away. And if they get down bad to the Eagles, which they probably will, I would love to.
Saquon's going to run for 175 yards. It's going to be rough.
Honestly, that's a little
Well,
backwards.
I would not be
And then
surprised to
you'll
see him
also-
crack 200.
I could see him
backwards.
I wanted to be
200 and
conservative on my
it will be a
guess.
backflip. After the hurdle that Saquon had this last week, his next hurdle is going to be a backflip.
That'd be fun. No,
Holy
but
crap.
in terms of the question, are the Jets the worst team in the league? Hard to say. It's a pretty bad. There's a lot of fucking bad teams. I think the Giants are very bad.
Giants
They're
are
probably. I
god-awful.
think they're sitting at number 1 overall right now in terms of if the draft started today, right?
I think so.
I have no clue because everybody's got at least 2 wins.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, but the Giants are bad. Carolina's atrocious, like I was saying, and they're in contention for the fucking worst ownership because their owner is
New
a
England.
twat.
Yeah, New England.
New England has the number 1.
New England at least has some
Jacksonville.
spunk.
New England, Jacksonville, New Orleans.
New Orleans is a strong contender
Oh,
now that
God,
they lost their
how
best
bad-
defender.
I'm gonna keep going into how much I hate the Cowboys right now, but how much
bad.
worse does it make the Cowboys look that they got blown out by the Saints and they've only won 2 games?
Dude, that was a strange abnormality that happened at the beginning of the year. They blew out 2 teams, and they looked like the best team on the planet. Now they can't score for shit.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna stop. bringing
7-game
them up.
losing streak. 7-game losing streak.
I understand
and
your
they
frustration.
fired
I get
their-
it.
So a 7-game losing streak, and they have fired their head coach. Guess who their interim head coach is?
Who?
Michael Thomas.
Who? What team?
The former wide receiver.
And if I understood correctly, I need to look this up again to see.
No.
It's the special teams
No way.
coordinator is the special teams coordinator is the active interim coach.
No, Michael Thomas was he was live tweeting the entire game talking about how much he hates Derek
talking
Carr.
shit about Derek
Yeah.
Carr.
That's
Yeah,
what it was.
talking a lot of shit.
Yeah,
about
no, it's the special teams coordinator is the new head coach for the Saints.
Yeah, that
Darren
happens.
Interim.
That happens. all
Darren
the time.
Rizzi. I had to look it
the,
up.
the Saints have lost 7 straight.
Yes, yes
Straight
they have.
loss.
I know how that
Fired
goes.
Aaron
They
Rizzi.
should not have lost against Carolina this last week, but
They have no
when you have
receivers,
no
dude.
wide receivers because everybody is dead over on that team. It's
When Chris Olave gets blown up like he did,
Bub Means was out. We talked about it earlier. The list
Yeah, we
is
talked about it
endless.
Yeah. In reality, I would say that there are 5 of the worst teams in the league that are fighting for that number 1 pick right now.
Yes.
Yep, and I would tend to agree with that. Actually, I would extend it to 7 because they all have the same. Yeah, they all have the same record.
Yep.
Sitting at
Multiple of them, or 3 of them, are on 4 losses in a row or more. The Raiders or the Giants have lost 4 in a row.
Didn't even
The
think
Raiders
about
have
the Raiders.
lost 5 in a row, and the Saints have lost 7 in a row.
Saints are
after
probably the
having
biggest free
2
fall then.
amazing weeks. Week 1
Yeah.
and 2, we were all like, I remember when we mentioned, I think Nick, you mentioned this last week, we were like, Derek Carr has found his place.
Oh, no, that was the beginning of the season. And I
Yeah.
cursed him for that. Yes, I did.
Well, I
jinxed
completely
his-
disagreed at the time, so I'm going to go ahead and stand on that as a win on the year, which is one of my few wins.
That is a win. And
Cool.
so
It's funny, like
And-
current mock draft has the Pats taking Travis Hunter, Jags taking Will Johnson, Saints taking Mason Graham, Panthers taking Tataroa McMillan, Shador Sanders going to the Browns.
oh god. Oh no.
Dion would not allow that to happen.
Dion would not let that happen.
What's a cold
God,
weather
I would
team?
love
He
to
doesn't want
see
to go
that.
there.
I would love to see that because it would just be fucking Johnny Manziel 2.0.
Ooh, that would be bad.
And then
It'd
Cam
be
Ward
hard.
going to the Raiders. Quinn Ewers
Cam
going to
Ward.
Tennessee, which I don't hate. I don't hate
Where do
that.
they have Ashton Genty at?
Late
This
first
only
round,
goes
probably.
up to this only goes up to 10, but I
First
believe they
round.
have him
Junior
going
top
to. Yeah, they have him going 11 to the Cowboys.
That'd be something.
Which
But they need to fix that offensive line.
fuck, please and thank you. Which I also brought this up the other day. God damn it, I went back to the Cowboys. Sorry, guys.
We just brought it up. Like, it's fine.
So, yes, I love Ashton Janty. He looks great. Can we also look at some of his offensive linemen? Can
Sure.
we do that? Because I'm willing
Boise
to bet
State
some of
is
those
a
guys are
good,
pretty fucking
like,
good.
offensive lineman
Yeah, Boise
school.
State's offensive linemen are great. Big 12 linemen, Big 10 linemen, usually pretty good bets.
Hell yeah, dude. I would only draft Wisconsin linemen.
Just those big weedies.
Or Boston
or actually,
College.
Notre
Like,
Dame
those two.
Notre Dame linemen are pretty good too.
Yeah, Notre Dame
Yeah,
is,
that's true.
if there's one thing Notre Dame's actually been good at, it's linemen.
I was gonna say good
And safeties.
consistently. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? No.
Kyle Hamilton, baby.
One of the most overrated college programs out there. Anyway, the
Continue.
last comment that we had was the biggest fantasy bust this year. Who has been the biggest fantasy bust?
Marvin
this year?
Harrison Jr.
No, he's performed a couple of
No,
weeks. You
he's
can't say
performed
that.
a little bit.
He's,
Jimmy
he's
Waddle
had
is
his-
a strong contender.
He's had more busts than performances.
No,
I
that's
mean,
just
I would say
frustrating.
just in terms of like it goes back to it, expectation, but everyone was saying he's going to have that immediate impact, immediate wide receiver one. He's generational talent, and he's only put out 3 weeks of over 10 points.
I'm gonna say Caleb Williams thus far.
Oh, he had a few good games.
Can we say Xavier Worthy?
No.
Xavier
I
Worthy
mean-
is outscoring Marvin Harrison.
Consistency, yes, but I don't think he's putting up the numbers or the catches that people were expecting him to.
No, that's why they went
speed
out of their
that
way
he
to
has-
trade for D-Hop. They obviously know he can't do that.
With the speed that he has, I was expecting more. With the flack that I got for not drafting him, I was expecting him to be
Hey,
putting
I
up
applauded you for not drafting
phenomenal
him. I just
numbers.
thought you
I
were
know.
going to draft him.
I will say, sorry to tell you this, Justin, but Marvin Harrison is outscoring Xavier Worthy, especially after this last week.
Oh, my heart.
Because Xavier Worthy had negative.
Whatever. Whatever.
Actually, I can pretty much tell you. Let me look at this for certain, because I
Marvin
think I
Harrison.
know who I would
Bowls
consider.
of dicks, man. I'm tired of his
I would
fucking
say Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek
but that's
Hill.
also-
Oh no!
Jalen
See, I thought we
Waddle.
were just talking about like rookie guys.
No, it doesn't have to be rookies. They're just thinking
Because
like
if we're talking rookie, it's going to be Romo Dunze.
Yeah.
Robert Woods is a good one.
'Cause
Jonathan
he's
Brooks.
on my team.
Jonathan Brooks
Jonathan
taking so
Brooks
long to
doesn't
get
play.
back.
Yeah.
I know, but like him taking so goddamn long to get back is kind of frustrating.
I mean, you kind of knew that going in because, like, when you drafted him, he was already hurt.
Can
Yeah,
we just
I
talk
know.
about the only reason we haven't mentioned his name is because we're in a Dynasty League, but you want to talk about flopping and really pissing people off, we're going to bring his name up as Christian McCaffrey. How many people, if this was a standard draft league, would have blown their brains out knowing
The
that you
only-
wouldn't get a McCaffrey play until week 10, week 11 if you're lucky?
The only
With 4
reason
weeks
that I
left.
am not salty, because among my 5 leagues, I literally only have 1 share of McCaffrey. The only reason I'm not salty about him being out this long is because I had the forethought. I grabbed Jordan Mason in that league at the same time Justin grabbed him in this league.
Yeah. Should have hung on to him a little bit longer, but whatever.
That's the
We
only
didn't know that
reason I'm not
McCaffrey was going
salty
to be out
about it.
this long. But that's
Not
what I'm
this
saying.
long.
Like, that's the one thing I love about Dynasty. Is yes, it sucks. Yes, it was salty at first, but Scotty moved on from it. He's number 2, so.
Michael Pittman is a bad player this year. Jalen Waddle, like I keep saying, he's a terrible player this year. Anthony Richardson.
Pittman's argument can go with what you just brought up, Anthony Richardson. And we don't need to dive into that. I feel like my brother did a very good job of that last week.
He did a great job going over that
With
last
his
week.
up close and personal message to Anthony Richardson on what he should be eating. So
I believe it was Dix.
I believe a whole bag of dicks, if I remember correctly.
Whole bag. Paper or
whole
plastic?
I
Bunched
need to
together, or
specify.
they're sticking out like baguettes?
I'm
I got
assuming
one for
we're
you.
environmentally friendly, so I'm assuming paper because it's biodegradable. So
Okay.
Trying to find where he's at. No, he's too high up there. I was going to say A.J. Brown because he's missed so much time and he was drafted in the first round in most leagues.
He's had a few
Most
good games,
redrafts.
But yeah, but
though. Main point is, like, there have been a lot of disappointment. Like,
Yes.
disappointed players
yeah,
this year.
and I mean we can always tie it up with injuries, big injuries this year. But I mean that's also just the league is just getting older. We got some new blood coming in. Got some guys just getting older that just aren't performing like they used to when we wanted them to and what they used to be. I mean I can chalk it up with Stephon Diggs. I mean he used to be wide receiver 1 that I would constantly go for, and this year like I'm ready to let him go.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like, but the injuries and shit, like, they don't just affect the older players. Like, Rasheed Rice is a second-year player, and he's out for the
Yeah,
game,
second year
too.
player. And he's
So,
and
Chris
Rasheed
Olave's
Rice-
out. I mean,
yeah, he's
Nope,
got, like,
I'm
a sponge
still
for a
throwing
brain.
A.J. Brown out there because he
Rasheed
scored
Rice.
less points than Jacoby Myers and DJ Moore.
yeah.
That's
Jace.
fair.
Rasheed Rice is out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just the older players; it's the younger players too.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
everybody's
what I just
getting
said,
injured. Don't know what it is.
Don't know what it is
I
this
wish
year, but it's
somebody
close.
could put their finger on why this year is so bad.
For injuries?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, if I can figure out the injury thing, maybe, like, I would have a chance of figuring out how to start the right players, but I can't do either of those
Lack
fucking
of an
things.
extra preseason game.
Yeah, that's
Lack
the
of an
only
extra
thing.
starting our starters during the preseason to keep them
That is the
healthy and-
only thing I can think of is like they're not building up a tolerance to it, but like that doesn't actually make sense physiologically.
It makes sense for building chemistry. I think that's
Yeah,
Marvin
it makes
Harrison.
sense for that.
That's Marvin Harrison's thing. Like, if he played the preseason, I think it'd been fine. But that motherfucker took everything. He took every activity off in the off season. So, like, it's no shock that he just, like, is barely involved in the fucking offense, or sparingly. Just whenever I bench him, that's when he just gets involved. So I'm just going to bench him the rest of the year for the Cardinals' sake, so at least we have some production through the air.
Yeah. I mean, like we said before, Cardinals #1 NFC West.
It will, in that division.
I mean, that's a competitive division. That is a competitive division.
That's all right. We're
But-
doing it with fucking nobodies, by the way.
Yeah.
There's
James
not a.
Conner,
Look at that fucking defense. We have one star player,
Buda Baker. Buda.
Kaiser White, if you're
What,
really deep.
No, defense is
Baron
actually.
Browning is-
I said this as soon
Baron
as
Browning.
I said this as soon as Gannon took off. That defense actually, like, for what you guys have or what the Cardinals have, it plays above what they have.
For sure.
100%.
They
They
figured
play above
something
what they
out.
have.
Great
there.
coaching. Gannon's like a dark horse pick for like coach of the year with what he's done with this dog shit roster. But I do have no illusions to think that he should win it because I think it should go to probably, I don't fucking know, somebody else. But that'll be a discussion
Dan
way down the
Quinn.
line. Ooh. Yeah,
Washington.
probably. At this
Yeah,
rate,
I'll
you
probably
can...
say the Commanders right now. That coach is coach of the year. But
Fucking Dan Quinn.
that's a great place to end it right there, boys. It's been a good week. We'll wrap it up here. And so, everyone out there listening, everyone out there watching, thanks for checking us out. If you haven't already, wherever the follow button is over on Spotify, wherever the subscribe button is on YouTube, just keep checking us out. We're just here to have fun, but we still want to interact with you guys. So if you guys want to drop us a comment or anything over on Spotify, well, I have a poll that goes up every week there. You can also leave us comments like we do at the end of the show. Also on the YouTube side, if you want to just leave a comment there.
Your
Smash
poll
that
only
like
goes
button,
up.
pussies.
Your poll only goes up once a week. I feel bad for you, son.
Yeah, we'll go up once a week. But, or if you want us to look over anything, you can always shoot us an email too. I did set up a Gmail. It's at desertdynastyfootball@gmail.com. Maybe you have a last minute trade you want us to look over. We can take a look and we'll talk about it on Tuesdays.
We'll be talking about it past tense because it'll be way too late.
Yep.
Well, for us, some leagues go until the end of the season's over.
Yeah,
Maybe.
those leagues are dumb.
Yeah, they are.
Those are
Anyway,
intense.
but we'll close it out. And then, we'll catch everyone else after this week 10. And have a good
Good luck, y'all.
Whatever.
Make good choices.